Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Samira Abdi and with me is my colleague Reema Tendulkar. Hi Reema, good afternoon, and it really is turning out to be a good afternoon. So we've seen another fresh move come in just in the last few minutes odd. So the Nifty is now above that 11,950 odd mark, and once again I guess hopes are building in that we cross 12,000, perhaps close above it, but for now it's about almost 1% in terms of gains on the frontline indices, and the Sensex is now up close to 380 odd points. That's a big move over there. The banking stocks, the Bank Nifty, in fact, seeing a 1% rise, and the mid-cap party continues, albeit at a bit of a slower pace today.
Absolutely. And Sonia was listing out all the things that you need to watch at 3 p.m. You've got the expiry, you've got the match taking place, you've got the swearing in, Modi's extradition. I want to talk a little bit more about the May expiry, which is going to come to an end. It's been a good series for us. The frontline index has rallied a little more than 2.5%. The mid-caps have trailed compared to the frontliners, but this, sell in May, go away hasn't really played out, particularly for the financial stock. Take a look at the top 8 Nifty gainers so far in the May series, and you can see 6 of them coming from the financial banks or the financial sector. So you've got State Bank of India, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Bajaj Finance, Axis Bank, HDFC Limited, HDFC Bank. So these are the big leaders of this rally that we've seen in the month of May. The stocks which have trailed, they're on account of company-specific issues. So one is Yes Bank, one of them is Z Entertainment. Tata Motors, for instance, has borne the brunt of this US-China trade war. So that's been a big laggard with a cut of about 21%. So that's the picture so far as the May series comes to an end. It's been a good one, and it was an important one for the markets as well, with the election verdict coming in. So we're just about I think 80 points away from our lifetime high on the Nifty, which was 12,041. Now as we speak, the Nifty is holding above that on 11,950 mark. Let's take you through all the top stories of the day. The markets near the day's high despite the scare from trade tensions and global yields. Reliance, TCS and HDFC Twins lead. Mid-cap index trades in line.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi to be sworn in along with the cabinet ministers this evening. Market awaits news on key portfolio allocations.
In earnings reaction, M&M shares slip after the management tells CNBC-TV18 that growth will be under pressure in the near term, expects an 8 to 10% growth in the medium term. Adani Power shares surge following a strong showing this quarter.
Shares of West Coast Paper see a stunning rise on news that the company will buy international paper at 275 rupees a share, a steep discount to its market price of about 420. Open offer to be closer to the traded price.
Well, let's talk about the market technicals then. Prakash Kaba is here with us in the studio. Prakash, would you be chasing the rally or are we approaching the top now?
I don't think we are approaching a top. So far, looks good. I don't see weaknesses yet. What I'm seeing is 2 days of pause. So basically means because of FNO expiry, perhaps we may see some kind of subdued. But the basic trend has been up. The first technical target of 11,950 has been achieved. Perhaps the next one is 12,000. Now, if it crosses 12,000, the target that I have, which I spoke about last week, is 12,191. So far, we are still on course. Only thing is, we need to see whether we are crossing there or not.
So the trade, you can take a long trade right now, or you would wait for the Nifty to cross that 12,000 mark and then take the long trade for your eventual target of 12,191.
I will take a long trade now.
Or
if I see a dip until 11,925 is the stop now for a fresh trade, because the first target is achieved, and chase it to maybe around 12,000. At 12,000, closer to 12,000, I'll book profit. And if I still see some strength, because last part of the trading session, we may see a short squeeze. If that happens, then that can propel the stock, the Nifty.
Okay, what are your stock ideas then, all on the long side?
One long, one short.
Okay.
Got to play safe. I like Reliance on the long side because looks like it's slowly building up. It's more of an inching forward move. So Reliance looks like can climb to around 1,350 zones. Stop below 13, I think what, 1290? Well, let me give a revised stop loss here. Stop will be around 1320. Target is 1350, stop will be 1320. So Reliance is up. Tata Motors looks a tad weak. Possible target on the downside is in the vicinity of 170 zone. Stop will about 176. So shorting is Tata Motors. Reliance is long.
You said you're expecting a short squeeze in the latter part. Why is that? And what could be the extent of it?
Because 2 days of pause we saw. There were shorts in the system. Otherwise, the previous move has been up. If there are shorts, they will have to cover. If that happens, there could be a short squeeze. That happens, that would take it to propel to around 12,000. And if it happens more, fresh buying comes in around 12,000 because of today being an FIDO expiry, that itself can propel it up.
All right, Prakash, thanks very much for joining in. Let's focus on one of the stocks that's under pressure, and that's Cadila on the back of their numbers. So Ekta is here to tell us, what went on in the conference call and what is it that investors have on their mind. Ekta.
Well, for Cadila this quarter, what actually has been a disappointment is basically the US business. The US business for FY19 was absolutely flat on a year-on-year basis, and the street is not expecting much of an improvement in this quarter in this year as well. So the guidance is that we are probably going to see Cadilla's revenue in the US business to be flattish in FY20. Expect margins to contract around 100 to 200 basis points as well. Now remember that the Moriah facility continues to be a big overhang for Cadila in terms of what could happen after those 14 observations were issued. Separately, some of the analysts are also, going with the fact that you probably won't even see approvals coming in from that particular facility in FY20. Separately, there is another facility which is Nesher in the US, which is also getting inspected, and it's expected to have been completed this week, so that would be important to watch out for. Brokerages have cut the target price across for Cadila. So Citi has cut the target price to 225. They have a sell rating. Macquarie maintained an outperform, cut the target to 340, and Credit Suisse also maintaining a neutral but cut the target price to 283 from 330.
Thanks, Ekta. Let's stay with the pharmaceutical black. Glenmark Pharma Q4 numbers disappoint. The revenues miss. Margins are under pressure. On the conference call today, the management said that they target a 10 to 15% revenue growth for FY20 and mid-single-digit growth for the US going ahead. Additionally, the company plans to reduce debt via capital flowing into the API business and proceeds from their divestment of non-core assets. We also spoke to Glenn Saldana on the company's plans for the US market and the API business. Listen in.
We've kept investing in innovation. I think now we've made a decision to spin out our innovation, all our innovative assets into a US company and do a capital raise within the next 12 to 18 months in that company. And we think from there on, innovation should fund itself through external capital which will get raised in the US. We still continue to believe that there's significant value in the innovation pipeline that we have, and that will unlock when we actually do the capital raise next year. Xolair, we are looking at a partnership, bringing on a partner who could then help fund the phase 3 and take that forward. We're also looking at a partnership on Ryaltris. Not just in the rest of the world, we've signed multiple partnerships in China, in South Korea, in various markets, Australia. And then on the innovation side, we continue to look for partnerships. So out of all these efforts, we're hoping to conclude at least one partnership in FY20. US business continues to remain challenging for most of the industry, the US generics business. For us, I think Q4, we witnessed a significant price erosion, particularly on the derm franchise. So dermatology for the entire industry witnessed a lot of price erosion in Q4. We think we're at the bottom right now. So from Q1 onwards, the growth should come back on the derm products and the rest of the franchise. The overall margins continue to trend at around 16-17%, and we see that continuing to grow in FY20.
All right, and Max India has also been buzzing on the back of Max Health's merger with Radiant. Ekta has stayed on with us, and she now joins in with the deal as well as the numbers of the company. Ekta.
Thanks for that. Well, I'll start with Max India, which is, they reported the numbers for Max Health particularly. The revenue was up around 14% to 708 odd crores, margins at around 12% and profit at 19 crores versus a loss of 3.5 odd crores. For Max Bupa, the gross written premium was up around 29% with a 43% growth in new sales. Now, in terms of the Radiant deal, which is basically Max Health to merge with Radiant, CCI approval has been received. The application is made to the stock exchanges plus SEBI. NCLT filing is in July 2019, expected to be completed in 9 to 12 months. For Max Bupa, the shareholder approval has been received, remember, for 51% stake in the health insurance arm to True North. Application filed with the IRDAI, and they expect completion in the next 3 to 4 months. For Antara, which is basically the other arm in Max India, that is looking for growth in Chandigarh and Noida and is planning to do so via an asset-light model.